Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking the Housewife and the Shaw Shocker. Woo, that was so good. Did you guys watch it? If you haven't, pause me, go watch it, come back, let's talk about it. The Housewives and the Shaw Shocker. It's on Hulu. Came out today. It's amazing and I'm so excited to talk about it with you guys. My first thoughts are, oh my gosh, I just can't even believe this. Like, I knew it was going to be bad, but wow. The same people that did The Housewives and The Hustler did this one. I'm going to say I like The Housewives and The Hustler maybe a tad more. I don't even know why, I just did. But this one's pretty darn close. And also, can you please put one out about Mary's Church? And can we also see one about Teddy's program? And also, Andy, when you're hiring housewives, can you see if they have some sort of criminal activity so we can get more of these documentaries? Thanks. It was so interesting to watch. It flew by. I took notes. I want to talk about some things. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Tell me if you watched it. Tell me if you're just here for the recap, like what your thoughts are on all this. Let's just get into it. So, starts off the episode with Jen getting the phone calls, and you guys, I got chills. That phone call on the bus. Now, I'm assuming if you're here watching this, you're familiar with Real Housewives Salt Lake City. If you're not, that's cool. Let me just tell you. Real Housewives Salt Lake City, great franchise. I'm really enjoying it. It comes on Sunday nights. Jen Shah got a call in the middle of production basically saying, run. So she did. She took off. No, she said that she got a phone call letting her know that they are coming looking for her. She faked that her husband, Sharif, who I love, and I hope he had nothing to do with this scam, had internal bleeding. And so she faked that that's what's going on, and she got out of there real quick. Her aunt was on standby, drove her away from there. Then we see the police show up. We saw it. You saw it in this documentary, too. It was wild. So she had her little accomplice, allegedly. I'm going to say a lot of allegedlys in this. They've said a lot of allegedly, so am I. Innocent till proven guilty. I get it. We don't know. They did allege that maybe she was just supplying the leads. Maybe she was. I don't know. If it was that, that's still, that's bad. But they said that that's the furthest away from criminal activity you can get, is if you're just supplying leads. So again, let me back up. What they're talking about and what the crux of this whole thing is, and you guys, they got me. I was in tears with the two ladies that they interviewed. It's basically whoever this was, somebody did this. We don't know who. They would prey on elderly people. They would look for people with pensions, people that were home, they would click on these articles like, hey, do you need some extra cash? Do you want to learn to work from home? Click here. We've all seen those ads. So they would click them. They'd give out their information. They'd be added to a list. From that list, so many other companies would get a hold of them. The way I understood it is they especially used this lady who was so sweet, this lady who really wanted, I believe she's a preschool teacher. She wanted to start this home beauty business. The teaching, of course, during COVID, she was having trouble finding work. So she wanted to start a home beauty business. So she clicked on the link, gave her information, and was contacted by people who said that they could potentially help her set up the social media for her business. She gave them $1,000, and after that, she was contacted again, and it just spirals, and even the people in the documentary say, I'm a smart person. I wouldn't have thought I was susceptible to this, but you are. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the amount. I believe her name was Marie Walker. She's a preschool teacher, 67 years old. And, oh gosh, I cannot find the amount. Anyway, I want to say it was like 18,000. I might have that number wrong, that she was scammed out of. And then This other woman, Penny, lost $30,000 to telemarketers. Her husband's farm went under. She loved to sew. She was trying to use this service to market herself. She thought she was getting the social media help and eBay help. She originally signed up for $97. You guys, when it was all done, they took her for $30,000. $30,000. And yeah, it was just wild. I mean, it's just one thing after another. Again, it was just being hit over and over by these companies who would kind of hear what they, it's like, and I'm not saying all psychics, if you believe in psychics, cool, but like the fraudulent ones would maybe listen to what you were telling them and then use that against you. That's how it sounded to me. Like they would listen to, oh, you want to start a business? Oh, we can help you do that, and then use it against them and then take their money. It was just awful. I mean, it just broke my heart just seeing these things. So so much interesting, I'm jumping around, I know, I'm sorry, but so much interesting thing. Okay, let me back up. So Brian Moylan was in here. I love him. If you haven't read his book, go read his book. It's The Real Housewives Behind the Housewives book. It was really good. Kelly Carter is here, senior entertainment writer for Undefeated. She was excellent. She gave a lot of great interviews. We got a Housewife super fan. I was like, oh man, why didn't they get me? I'm a Housewife super fan. But no, it was Colt Paulson. He was excellent. These are just some of the people giving interviews throughout the documentary. And you guys, Dana Wilkie. We got Dana Wilkie. Dana, my sunglasses are $25,000. Wilkie. She was great in the Housewife and Hustler documentary. She was great in this documentary. I say hire for every single one. She's fantastic. If you remember, Dana kind of had her own legal problems. I'm not going to get into that. Google it. It's a very, very fascinating read. Okay. So, I mean, it backed up all the way to BravoCon 2019, where they announced that there was going to be Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Everybody was excited about the diverse cast, Mormon royalty, people who had converted from Judaism to Mormonism. I mean, you guys know the history, right? All this stuff. The big fight over hospital smell, they talk about all that in the documentary. I thought it was fantastic. Now, where it got real good is they used a lot of clips of Jen Shah bragging about spending outrageous money, buying outrageous things. She was on tape talking about the $80,000 party she threw. So we all knew that house was rented, right? So they confirm it on this documentary, house was rented. And that got interesting too. You guys, I got chills because, again, all this money, right? All this money, wherever she's making it, whether it's really on leads or on more things allegedly, they said that, okay, so when she and Stuart got arrested, they had these huge, I want to say it was $250,000 bonds. Sorry, I'm trying to go through my notes. I'm so excited. It's kind of all over the place. $250,000 bond, right? So Stuart had to put up his house as collateral. And they said, again, allegedly, in the documentary, they say she did not own that house. She didn't have any assets to put up. So she literally had to pony up $250,000 cash. They said that's very unusual. Again, I want to say, they say she had no assets. To which I say, what the hell is happening? They have her on tape saying she spends $50,000 a month. Let that number sink in. $50,000 a month. That was Erica Jane territory. I believe she actually even said $40,000 a month, but that may have just been on her glam. I can't remember. Ridiculous. Ridiculous numbers. Even if I was a billionaire, I don't understand how you lose touch that much. I mean, $50,000 a month. Okay, I'm jumping around. But again, no assets to put up. So she's making all this money, spending all this money, no assets. I can't shake that. That part is just like rocking me to my core. Oh, you guys, I left out. Okay, Koa is this guy. He's a fashion designer, right? And seemed like a really sweet guy. He's the one that made her amazing dress. That one, well, you know, the one that she's posing in, and maybe it was a finale dress. I don't know. One of the sparkly dresses. It's gorgeous. It's incredible. He said that dress was like $10,000 to $12,000, And he met her and worked with her for years. He was styling her. So this poor guy is the one, I didn't even realize this, on the receiving end of the meltdown that leaked out, right? When she threw a bowl of chili. Yeah, it was at Koa. Holy cow. So again, so much going on. So he reveals that he was getting paid monthly from her and continually abused by her, allegedly, according to him. Verbally abused by her over and over and over again. There were several leaked things, which I didn't know that. I thought it was just one, of her being, again, allegedly verbally abusive. And he had enough. So he quit in, I think he said January 2021, and maybe it was January 2020. Whenever he quit, he got paid, I think it was January 2021, because he said he got paid up until September of 2020. Still hasn't been paid for the last few months. And according to him, a lot of the other staff were kind of in the same boat. So again, no assets, spending all this money, renting a house and car, according to Koa, and can't pay her staff. So I ask you, where did all the money go? To me, some of the best parts of this documentary were the clips that I hadn't previously seen. Jen did an interview with Marie Claire where she was showing off her jewelry. And in her hand was an 8.85 carat necklace. Yep, you heard me right. And her love of emeralds is an emerald necklace and showing it off. Wow. I'm so fascinated by this. Okay, so all I can figure is she was pretending to spend that much. She wasn't quite spending that much. They said in the documentary she was lying to Coach Shah, allegedly, about what she was buying and how much was coming in and going out. That Koa guy was alleging that she rents the car and the house. We've said that. He also alleged that a lot of her, I believe he said her clothes, maybe he was just specifically talking about her furs and stuff, were rented. I just need to get a hold of her finances. I need to see what the heck's going on there. It's driving me crazy. How much was coming in? How much was she spending? I'm sure a lot of it was for TV. I get that. I think a lot of the housewives do that. They pretend to live a certain way when they don't actually live a certain way, and it's for TV and, all this. I get that. I do. I think it's part of the game. But none of this makes any sense. She's still making money on Housewives, too. I want to know how much she's making there. I want to know how much she was making from this job. I say that, I don't know from this BS. I don't know. What do you call it? From this? How much was she bringing in every month? How much was going out every month? That's what I want to know. Where are her assets? What's happening here? This is so crazy. Okay, so many things. So they kind of glaze over that there's a possibility. There were some businesses opened in Corsica. I'm not kidding. They said it that quick and moved on. They allege that possibly, maybe, we don't know, but maybe, Jen Shah and Stuart, possibly, created these shell companies in Corsica. So I need to know more information about that, what's happening there. They did allude to certain countries don't have, like, a money laundering. They don't have laws on the books about that. So they don't, they don't prosecute that sort of thing. So it's easy to do bad stuff and then move money to certain places because, you're probably, that's it. Like, it's yours wherever. So I just need to know everything. Does she have money in these other places? What does Corsica have to do with anything? So the other interesting thing that I did not know is they talk a lot about this United States versus, I'm never going to say his last name right, Ketabchi, Ketabuchi. So this man was arrested it was through New York and New Jersey. I believe it was New York. And it was a 2016 Operation Double Down. Arrested for narcotic smuggling, but then they found out he was involved in telemarketing fraud. And what they allege is that he was selling products that didn't exist. So from there, they uncovered a group of telemarketers. Again, do you see where I'm going with this? Calling people and working together to scam a bunch of victims. So this kind of blew the lid off of things, and all these agencies were looking into it, and that's how they kind of figured out, oh, hey, some of this is going on in Nevada, some of this is going on in Utah, and a few other places. And then, again, that's kind of how it led into possibly Jen Shah and Stuart. So interesting, fascinating. I'm not doing it justice. I know there's just so much to cover. I have 1,000,000 pages of notes. I highly recommend that you go watch it. You know, my feelings after watching Housewives and Hustler are, I just felt so, I just always, I know innocent until proven guilty, but I don't believe that Erica didn't know. I just don't. I can't believe it. And my opinion on this is it just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. I don't think she's innocent. That's my personal opinion. Speaking my own mind, I don't know. Maybe she is. And if she is, you know what? Then she deserves all the things I don't know, like she's, then she's innocent, and that's it. I don't know. This documentary did such a good job of explaining how awful this all was and how she could potentially be involved. So that makes it hard to think that she wasn't involved. I'll just say it like that. And again, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know Jen Shah. Maybe she wasn't. If she's innocent in all this, that's truly awful. But regardless, somebody needs to go down for this. Whoever's involved needs to go down for this. This is a terrible crime. The really sad part is they were saying that people that do things like this blow the money, and the victims, while sometimes they'll receive, like some of these ladies said that they received partial money back from credit cards and stuff. They're not made whole again, I believe is the way they said that. They don't get all their money back. So they're just out this money. And it's the saddest thing. It really is. It's so depressing. So, just like I was outraged for the victims and the widows, the orphans, the plane crash, all that, I'm outraged for these elderly victims as well. Or even if they're not elderly, I'm just outraged for the victims of the telemarketing schemes as well. It's terrible. I hope the truth comes out. And you know what? I will be watching. So they did talk about Stuart changing his plea. He took a plea 8 months after his arrest, and according to the documentary, he admitted that he hid money and defrauded elderly. So he won't say who he conspired with, and he's facing 70 years max sentence in March 2022. 70 years. That's what he's facing. I know it never works like that, but I'm just saying that's according to the crimes that they're discussing. I don't know how to say it nicely. You know what I mean? That's what they're looking at. So I'm very curious about this. I will be watching the heck out of Jen Shah's case. I'm very curious about that. One of the attorneys on the documentaries was saying that if Jen's convicted, it could be real bad, her sentence, because they might try to make an example out of her, basically. So that's it. They reached out to Jen Shah's attorney, and they didn't respond. So we'll see what happens. It's shocking. Go watch it. Leave me your comments below. I'm dying to know what you thought. Did you watch this one? Did you watch Housewives and the Hustler? What did you think? What do you think about Jen? What do you think about Stuart? Tell me everything. I'm just freshly off this, so I'm still processing my thoughts, hence me being all over the place, but it was pretty darn good. So that's it for me, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I really do. Leave me comments. Let me know your thoughts. Be sure to check out my other shows. I got all kinds of stuff coming up, so check back a lot. I hear a lot of people saying their notifications aren't quite working, so just check back. Also, comments, I mostly get them, but sometimes I can see them and I can't respond. Something about YouTube, I don't know. Sometimes it throws it in spam. I move it back out of spam, but don't get upset if your comment doesn't show up or if I can't respond to it. It's not personal. It's just YouTube comments are a lot of fun sometimes. But thank you guys for everything. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.